Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shwetomov Adibayo, known as Byxclusive. Guys, on today's video, we'll be talking about cost of living in Paris versus other cities in France. Okay, once again, cost of living in Paris versus other cities in France. As we all know on this channel, we'll talk about being a Nigerian in France. And if you're new on this channel, kindly subscribe to my channel, guys. It's free. Just click on it, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, drop a comment, and then turn on your post notifications so you can get my videos whenever I drop them. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so talking about the cost of living in Paris versus other cities in France. Okay, we will be focusing on three major aspects, which is accommodation, transportation, and feeding. Once again, accommodation, transportation, and feeding. So to start with, let's talk about the accommodation in Paris versus other cities in France. Okay, talking about accommodation in Paris, you know, accommodation in Paris is quite expensive than other cities in France. This is because Paris is the major city in France, and then we have a lot of people in Paris. Before anyone comes to Paris, they have this idea that Paris is the only city that they can, get things done. It's the only city that they can get the good job, the best job. They have it in mind that Paris is the only city that they can, they can socialize. Paris is the only city, that like everything is happening in Paris. So this is why Paris is overpopulated. We have a lot of people in Paris. Okay, this is why the accommodation in Paris is very, very expensive. Now, I'm not talking only about the accommodation that has to do with people living in Paris alone. I'm talking about even the hotels. The hotels in Paris are even more expensive than other cities. The hotels are expensive. The accommodations, the houses there are more expensive. Even the Airbnbs, they are very expensive. Okay, this is because most of these people that owns this property, they pay taxes, and the tax they pay in Paris, the tax in Paris will be more than the tax in other cities. Okay, this is the reason why the accommodation in Paris is more expensive. Okay, so accommodation in Paris is very expensive compared to other cities. So let's talk about the financial, like let's give it in number. Okay, in Paris, if you want to get a self-contained in Paris, just a self-contained in Paris, you can get a self-contained, now you can get a self-contained between the range of 600 to 1,000 euros in Paris, in the major, center of Paris. You get within 600 euros to 1,000 euros if you want to get just a self-contained, a mini room, a kitchen, and bedroom and toilets. Okay, that's the amount in Paris. While if you want to go to other cities, okay, if you want to go to some other cities, you get this same self-contained, you get it for 300 to 500 euros. Okay, now you see the difference, right? Between the range of 300 to 500 euros. So this is as a result of the overpopulation in Paris as compared to other cities. Okay. So also the hotel you're going to get for one night for, you know, 50 euros, 60 euros in other cities. In Paris, you are going to get the same hotel for 100 euros, 150 euros, 200 euros. In fact, there are some hotels in Paris that are 250, 300 euros per night. Okay. So, there are businesses, there are hotels that are springing up now that they are trying to subsidize their price, at the outskirts of Paris. Okay, it's not the the center of Paris, it's at the outskirts of Paris. Try to bring the price down because they know people want to be close to Paris. Okay, but nevertheless, the hotel in Paris is still very, very expensive as compared to other cities. So that's the price range. If you are a family man, you want to live in Paris, you know, you should prepare like 2,000 euros for the bills and the house rent in Paris. If you want to live in Paris, 2,000 euros every month. Okay, so that's it. And then for other cities, if you're a family man, if you have 1,000, you can go ahead. Okay, to live in other cities. So that's it about the accommodation in Paris. Now let's talk in Paris versus that's it about the accommodation in Paris versus other cities. Now let's talk about the transportation. Okay, so anyone living in France, in any city you find yourself, there's a card as a resident of the city. There's a card you get from the transportation company. You pay for this card every month. Okay, now in Paris, paying for this card every month it costs within 80 to 100 euros thereabouts in Paris. Okay, you subscribe to the card 80 to 100 euros every month. Okay, and in other cities, some cities you pay like 40 euros, half of what you're going to pay in Paris. Some cities you pay 50 euros, half of, like, it's not up to what you pay in Paris. While some cities you pay as low as 3, 4, 5 euros to the card every month. In fact, there are some cities that transportation are free in France. Okay, so now you see the difference between the transportation, the cost of transportation in Paris versus other cities. In Paris is way high. I'm talking about the just the card now, just the card for you to tag along, for you to go to buses, to the bus, to the tram, to the metro. You have to subscribe to this card, and it's more expensive than that of other cities. Okay, and also this is as a result of the overpopulation in Paris. There are a lot of people in Paris, and this cost for the expensive lifestyle in Paris. Okay, so now let's talk about the last one, feeding. Feeding in Paris is also more expensive than that of other cities. This is because many business owners, many people, going into business, selling foodstuffs in Paris, they pay more taxes. The tax they pay for their business is way high than that of other cities. Okay, as a Nigerian, if you want to go into business in Paris, be ready to pay for more big taxes, as compared to other cities. As a as an African, you want to go into business, be ready to pay for like a lot of tax. You know, Also, not only Africans, if you're white, if you're an immigrant from any country, be it white or black, you want to invest in Paris, be ready to pay the tax in Paris because it's the center of the country. Okay, and there are a lot of people there, like a lot of concentration in that city as compared to other cities. Okay, so let me just try to give it cite an example that will be more explanatory to you watching me. If you're Nigerian and you're watching this video, let's take for instance, okay, the cost of living in Ilorin as compared to that of Ibadan. You should know that of Ibadan is going to be more than that of Ilorin. And then now let's talk about the cost of living in Lagos is going to be more than that of Ilorin and Ibadan. Okay, and then this is because there are a lot of businesses in Lagos and there are a lot of people in Lagos that believe that when they get to Lagos, they are going to make a living. And that's the fact. Lagos is just like an hustling center. It's just the same thing, like the explanation about Paris and other cities. Okay, fine. There are other cities that are also cool, that you can get good jobs, that you can live good life in France. But the major reason why I'm trying to compare France versus other cities is because, sorry, Paris versus other cities. The major reason why I'm comparing Paris basically versus other cities is because Paris is the concentration of all immigrants, of everybody coming to France. Okay, so guys, I decided to drop this in order for you to have knowledge about this. Okay, so if you're new on this channel, can you subscribe to my channel, guys? Like my videos, drop a comment, and turn on your post notifications so you can get my videos whenever I drop them. Thank you so much. See you on the next one. Peace out.